please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. It's an interesting screen because the market straight away opened gap down at a support, and from there it's bouncing back. That's the Nifty, now down only 21 points. The mid-cap index is already in the green, and some of the good quality mid-caps are already seeing quite a bit of bounce from the low point. We spoke about TVS Motor, for example, making highs of the day. Ashok Leyland is now almost joining that list. Just pull out the intraday chart on Ashok Leyland. Of course, seen the move on Tata Motors today. That's been the big mover. But there are stocks which are now obviously at lower levels bouncing back. Ashwani Gujral, Mitesh Thakkar and Sandeep Wagle with us. Good morning again. Ashwani, your thoughts on this pullback that we're seeing from the low point, especially in the broader market?
See, right now I don't think is the time to get overexcited on the upside. Yes, it's a pullback, gap down, found some support. What's important is how far does this pullback go? If we fail, before we hit yesterday's high, then it's basically a bounce back. So that way, 20-point pullbacks look exciting, but we need to see follow through, and follow through should come in above, say, 11,600. Otherwise, these sort of pullbacks can get sold into fairly quickly. So for the moment, what you want to do is you want to take fresh short positions in case you are not short, and use yesterday's high as a stop, and then believe that at some point something will turn, rupee will start to fall or something else will happen, and immediately all these long positions may get chopped up. So Yes Bank is a sell with a stop of 335, target of 318. ICICI Bank is a sell with a stop of 328, target of 312. And Bajaj Auto is a buy with a stop of 2840, target of 2910.
Okay, Ashwini, I wanted to ask you, you said, were we at 27,300 on the Bank Nifty when we spoke to you last, that you have added shorts. When will you cover those shorts, or have you already?
See, at least yesterday's high must be taken out. Okay. Otherwise, these kinds of pullbacks will come every 2 hours. Rupee has recovered 10 paise, something else has changed. So we need to take a firm view. Is this correction over? I don't think so. Enough hasn't changed. The confidence is still low. So this is, your intraday pullbacks, which in a choppy market will happen for no reason.
Okay, well, Mitesh Thakkar and Sandeep Wagle are also joining into our conversation. By the way, the mid-cap index is still holding up a tad bit in the green, but all the auto stocks are just firing away right now. Mitesh, any thoughts on how to approach Tata Motors? I mean, it's been quite a move over the last few days. At 277, how does the risk-reward look? And also, any thoughts on other stocks that you're tracking?
Sonia, it's one of my recommendations. I think I've been tracking this stock very closely since the last 4-5 days. In fact, every day at least once or twice I've been mentioning this on TV that once it gets past 271, 273, expect a stronger bounce back to start. I think that process has started. The first targets on the upside will be closer to about 283 to about 285, but I suspect eventually this stock is heading towards 310 zone. So I would still be quite positive over here if I'm a positional trader, and buy now with the stop below today's low of 269. And I think that 310 could happen possibly towards the end of this expiry. So very positive. But from a trading point of view, in fact, I had a call at levels of around 273. It's moved up in the last few minutes. So if you get it around those levels again, re-enter aggressively. Keep a stop at 268. Look for a first target of 285. And I have one Tata stock as sell as well. Tata Global is still breaking down, showing signs of downward continuation. So keep a stop at 224. Look for targets of 210.
Okay, by the way, the other stock that's breaking out now once again after a long time is Apollo Hospitals. Just pull out the intraday chart on that stock. Had a big run, of course, and then a decent correction from 1200 to 1100. And right now, just pull out Apollo Hospitals intraday. That's making a bit of a move. Sandeep Wagle is also with us. Sandeep, good morning. Thoughts if you are tracking on Apollo Hospitals and your rest of your stock calls?
Good morning, Anuj. I would be a little surprised because I saw a breakdown in the morning. And obviously, the way it is going, I see some more upside now. That call needs to be reversed. I see the stock going to 1170, 1175. My calls would be a buy in a TVS Motors, stop loss of 582, target of 612. And a sell in a Yes Bank, stop loss of 338, target 315.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Well, at the moment, there's still a bit of a recovery in the mid-cap indexes, in mid-cap index. And now the advanced declines is getting 1:1. So, reasonable amount of recovery in the mid-cap space. Mitesh, anything that you want to spot?
But I think, I still like a couple of IT names over there, and KPIT, I think, could show some continuation. It's slightly come off the day's high, but I think if it can start getting past 313.14 again, I think this is heading towards 330 odd zones.
Okay, all right, gentlemen, thanks a lot.
Just one second. I wanted to take Ashwini's thoughts on Sun Pharma, which is actually very volatile. Ashwini, it opened lower, then recovered, and now again seeing a bit of a decline.
See, some sort of a correction may have happened, may have started on Sun Pharma. So maybe, around 620 is a good level to get into Sun Pharma. The stock to watch is Bajaj Auto. I mean, you would have seen how it fell, previously. And, this sort of a gap up, etc., that generally tends to turn trend. So if you keep like a stop around, say, 2650, 2700, Bajaj Auto is probably done on its correction and could actually move higher even if the market goes down.
Okay, well, since we're talking about two-wheelers, let's also pull up the chart of TVS Motors, because right now it is on fire. In fact, not just today. TVS Motors is up about 15% from the lows that we saw in August. So in the month of August, it had hit a low of about 500 rupees. It's almost at 600 rupees right now. And this morning, as we know, it's up about 4%. My colleague Utkarsh Chaturvedi caught up with K.N. Radhakrishnan of TVS Motors on the sidelines of the SIAM conference to talk about growth in the two-wheeler space. Let's listen in to what they had to say.
So far this year, April to August, if you look at the two-wheeler industry, has grown well. It is almost 12%. We have grown about 13%. So overall, I think the momentum is good this year. And the monsoon is good so far, and the rural economy is responding. So we are expecting a very good season this year.
Any expectations you have in terms of
numbers? I think each company has got a strategy. We want to be ahead of the industry growth.
So I can safely assume that you are speaking about above 20% or around that.
I don't want to put a number to it. I think you have to play by whatever is likely to happen, and we are confident that the products are doing well in the market.
Speaking about the rural economy, sir, how is the sentiment there?
I think this year we know that monsoon has been so far has been very good, and overall the economy is doing well. So we are expecting the growth in rural to really do well.
Speaking of BS6, how will that change the landscape for the two-wheeler industry? And also, do you think that the consumer preference towards segments might also take a shift once the price hikes go on?
Too early to comment. I think everyone is now working on coming up with BS6 products. So everybody is trying to prove the technology, prove the product. Too early to comment how it will pan out.
And what kind of investments will it take, especially for TVS?
I can't give you a specific number for BS6, but overall we are investing about 650 crores capex, which includes new products, technology, capex, capacity expansion, all put together.
All put together. So speaking of the current crude prices and dollar prices as well, what kind of impact that can have, or you can see, and is that a cause of worry right now?
See, from the business point of view, we are a net exporter, so it's very good when you see this. One good thing is the oil prices are stable, and the international markets where we have presence, it is all now stable, and the demand is also growing. And this portfolio of products, whatever we have, it's accepted very well in most of the markets.
Are we really looking to expand to more markets and increase our presence in the international market?
We constantly review that, and it is a journey, because every market gives you challenges and opportunities. So constantly review that and keep adding new countries and expanding the current market. So this is a part of the business.
So currently, what is the revenue share from exports right now, sir?
It's about 20%.
20%. And any targets you have, say, in the next 2 to 3 years, where do you see that going ahead?
Overall business we want to grow. There are no specific targets otherwise.
And even in the whole business in the domestic side, any market share targets which you have, what are you really looking at, say, in the next 2 years?
We are looking at growing ahead of the industry with our portfolios.
Lastly, on the electric vehicle space, there has been a lot of talk about developments, R&D, and even when we speak about the new FAME 2 norms which is coming in, there has been a hint from the government that two-wheelers will be something which will get a preference. How do you see the whole EV landscape going ahead, and how big a role will these government policies play?
We have invested in electric technology, and we will be coming up with other products. Closer to launch, I'll give you more details. I think there will be there is a good investment from the government side, and the way they are looking at electric as an overall landscape for the future.
Welcome back. The stock of the moment now is Aurobindo Pharma. Just pull up that stock. Clearly the street likes the acquisition. Second day running, it's a huge move on Aurobindo Pharma. And now look at that, 7.5% higher. As CLSA was telling, had written in their note, this acquisition gives a lot of scale to Aurobindo Pharma. Of course, it increases its complexities as well. But derma, oral solids, etc., that whole portfolio becomes really large for them. So that's what I guess the street is pricing in. Let's also talk about the commodity space. Manisha Gupta joins in for a quick roundup of all that's happening there. Hi Manisha, good morning.
Morning, Sonia, and thank you so much for that. Well, we have seen the crude oil prices continue to come off the highs that we saw in the previous week. So nearly $4 off in the international markets, and we're down by nearly 200 rupees from the kind of highs that we saw in the previous week as well. So from plus 5,000 rupees, 4869 on your screens, it's yet another 0.3% of a decline. The US inventory data that came in yesterday has been on the mixed side. The US inventories, the crude that is the lowest since Feb 2015, but the gasoline inventories have been increasing. So the energy products are not doing so well in sense of demand, and that's weighing on. Apart from that, US has mentioned that it will give waiver to some countries on Iran crude or export sanctions, and that has also taken some premium off. In any case, we saw the prices come off after the Hurricane Gordon passed through without making any real damage to the Gulf of Mexico oil facilities, and that is the reason you have seen that constant decline in crude oil prices in this week. But the markets will also continue to watch out for the currency play, and we have seen the US dollar gain up yet again. That is putting pressure onto the prices. We are looking at the gold prices trading at a 2-week lows, and the silver price is 0.5% down on your screen, trading very close to its 14-month lows in the Indian markets as of now. The base metal prices, while we did see some bargain buying because of on the lower side, the US dollar also paused yesterday, but that doesn't really seem to be the case in the Asian markets right now. Copper is headed for a second weekly decline. Aluminum, of course, has been an outperformer through and through, and that's because there is shortage of alumina, and aluminum has been in deficit every month of 2018. That, of course, has been the reason for its support. But every other metal, including nickel, zinc, lead, is trading in the negative right now. The trade concerns seem to be really escalating. China has said that it will retaliate. The markets also will watch out for the US non-farm payroll data. That's going to be released today in the evening, and that would give an immediate direction for many of these commodities as well. Trading strategies, and we have them from Comtrends. They have a buy call in case of gold. 30,800 is the level they're watching out for. But they have a sell call in the industrial commodities. So for crude, they're looking at a downside of 4,795. It's a sell on copper as well, 418 on charts there.